Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and I wanted to come back to you guys today to talk about the Walking Wake and Iron Leaves raids. Now, when we talk about these raids, there's a number of mon that you can use for these raids. They are 5-star raids. They are level 75. They're not super difficult, but there are some things that you need to know about these first and foremost going into the battle. Now, the biggest thing, and I do emphasize the biggest thing you've got to know going in here, is what these Pokemon are doing. So first things first, you have here Walking Wake, who's going to attack with Hydro Steam, Dragon Pulse, Noble Roar, and Flamethrower. So while initially, on the face of it, a lot of us want to bring like grass types and things like that, Flamethrower is going to make that exceptionally difficult, especially considering Walking Wake will also buff with Sunny Day, and that essentially is going to make that Flamethrower nigh just deadly to any grass type mon that you're bringing. So do bear that in mind. Now when it comes to Iron Leaves is going to bring to the table Psyblade, Leaf Blade, Mega Horn, and Swords Dance. Now, I don't think that really negates too many of the options for Iron Leaves. I think most of the super effective options are on board for Iron Leaves. And yes, I do have my Iron Leaves in a Beast Ball. Don't ask. It was a snap decision in the moment. I know he's not an Ultra Beast, but I thought the ball looked kind of cool with whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll pretend like Iron Leaves is an Ultra Beast, not a Paradox mon. Anyway, nevertheless, Iron Leaves will also initiate Electric Terrain. So that is something really important. That's not just the Quark Drive. That's not just the ability. That is an actual ability that Iron Leaves has their disposal. Its disposal, whatever. Also level 75, but here's the deal, guys. So when you go into these matches, you want to go in there with a Pokemon that you know is going to be able to take this event on. So looking at Iron Leaves, I know my Iron Leaves is level 100, but this gives us a good way to estimate what we need for this battle. So Iron Leaves is a physical attacker with lower physical defense. I know those stats are low, per se. It is a pretty speedy mon, but the physical defense is much lower. So you really do want to bring a physical attacker, if at all possible, because special defense is much higher. Walking Wake, on the other hand, is special attacking, but physical defending. So they're fairly well balanced. Now, here's the deal. These Pokemon are, like I said, level 75 when you go in there. So really, you can still bring a special attacker to Iron Leaves. You can bring a physical attacker to Walking Wake. It's not the end of the world. You just got to make sure that the Pokemon you bring at that point are level 100. Now, because Walking Wake is a water Terra type, you really want to bring something that water is going to be naturally weak to. That does not, it leaves a few options on the table, but remember, like I said, if you bring grass or something like that Flamethrower is going to take out, you're going to have some problems. Now, for me, what I've been doing is I have been bringing my Iron Hands. You can see my Iron Hands is like trustworthy. He's great in just about any circumstance. In fact, I was lucky enough to get mine with 6 IVs, which is insane. Absolutely insane. So my Iron Hands is absolutely fantastic for the job. But I want to emphasize, that is a physical attacking mon, and even though Walking Wake is technically a physical defender, here's the deal. When it comes to Iron Hands, what I'm doing is I am essentially using Belly Drum to buff up his physical attack, and then we're just charging, using Electric Terrain and Thunder Punch, and we can Thunder Punch 2-3 times and just knock him out. So it is pretty simple, pretty easy. This is a simple build. But if you don't have Iron Hands, because I am well aware that he is like the opposing Paradox mon, if you are still on Scarlet or something like that, and you don't have that ability, I also built here Golem. I really like Golem. Very similar, also a physical attacker, not a special attacker, but with Thunder Punch, Electric Terrain, Charge, and Defense Curl. He's not going to be able to buff his attack, but he'll be able to buff his defense. So, in essence, you'll be able to tank more hits, but you'll also be able to... You'll be producing some damage, but you're not going to be producing, like, excess damage. I wish we had Swords Dance. I actually don't know, and I didn't check it if Swords Dance is an option, and I don't know if I have a TM for it. Let's check here by name. It's going to be really embarrassing if I do not have a Swords Dance TM. Man, I don't think he learns it natively. Let's see. He does not. I'd have to look it up if he did. But it doesn't really matter. Even without Swords Dance, he'd still be just fine in this at level 100 with all of this at his disposal. Because once again, Electric Terrain and then initiating a charge will make Thunder Punch like 2, maybe 3 times as powerful as it normally is. It's a really insane move at that point. Sturdy also will prevent you from taking like a critical hit damage and taking like a rogue KO or something like that. So that's another way you can build Mon. There's lots and lots and lots of different Pokemon. You have Electabuzz. You've got... I really do like electric types for this first and foremost because they really... You're not going to be susceptible to flamethrowers. So really any good electric type Pokemon you should be able to bring to the table and make this work really well. Now, if you want specific builds, we'll talk some more about some specific builds. We'll do some testing tonight, and then tomorrow I can bring you exact features of Pokemon that you can specifically build that will work. However, on the face of it, and unfortunately that's just because I'm on Violet right now, I'm not on Scarlet. On Violet, I have been having tons of fun, and I do mean tons of fun, because with Walking Wake, with Iron Leaves, you can bring tons of different Pokemon, and I do mean tons of different Pokemon. I'm really enjoying the Ghost builds. So you guys remember I did this Hisuian Zoroark build for the last raid. He works splendidly. Gholdengo is one of my absolute just go-tos when it comes to this event. Gholdengo is so powerful. He can knock this out in like 3 hits. It's really crazy. In fact, let's go ahead and select him and go in here and challenge us alone. Now, you don't have to use ghost types. You could use Ghost Dark or Bug, and I don't think any of those are really going to be terribly affected by any of the abilities that he has. Actually, no, Bug shouldn't be either. I'd have to double check that though, but I don't think any... No, Bug should be fine. Bug will be alright. Because he doesn't have Flamethrower, it's Walking Wake that has Flamethrower. So, on the face of it, Bug should be okay. So what I'm going to do here with Iron Leaves when it comes to Gholdengo, and I think this is a little loud, so I'm going to just crank this down ever so slightly. There we go. Is we're going to open up with a Nasty Plot. Now, he's going to buff himself as well, most likely. He might hit us. It shouldn't matter too much. There we go. Here comes the Leaf Blade. It didn't hurt. Now, well, that wasn't even a critical hit. That's hilarious. Now, what I'm going to do on turn 2 is I'm going to use Reflect. And that way, all the incoming physical damage is cut in half. And he is a physical attacker, so we should be just fine there. Look at that. Everything's cut in half. Now, I can Nasty Plot 2 more times, and you'll see how much damage I am producing. It's really crazy. And of course, with all these Pokemon, we're always using the Shell Bell item. Shell Bell really is kind of like the best of the best for any kind of raid situation. Let's go ahead and do one more Nasty Plot. There we go. And you can really build Mon. This is your opportunity to just go out there, flex, build Mon you normally wouldn't build, and just have fun with the builds. Now let's do a Shadow Ball, and I'm gonna show you how much damage this does. Check this out. I want to emphasize, I'm not terastallized yet. I am not terastallized yet. If that were terastallized, you could have 50% of the damage that would produce. So the main thing I've kind of been asking myself here is what all can we do with this? So when it comes to Chien-Pao, when it comes to Giratina, when it comes to Lunala, who I just recently acquired from one of my saves on my DS. By the way, guys, get those over before Pokemon Bank expires. I've got a few that I've got to bring over here soon. We'll do a whole video series on that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Nevertheless, when it comes to these units, it really gives me a lot of hope that these guys can work. Now, Lunala will need a Ghost Terra to do this, so I can go in and I can actually get her enough Ghost Orbs to change her over. Giratina already is a Ghost Mom, but, you know, once again, we've got Chien-Pao, who's dark. We've got lots and lots and lots of options at our disposal. There aren't really any bug Pokemon that are Ooh, Darkrai. Darkrai would be fun. Ooh, I didn't even think about that, man. I'd love to try this out with Darkrai. So we're going to try some of these coming up here really soon, especially some of these weird legendaries. If you can think of a really interesting build, post it in the comments down below. We will try it out. And like I said, any Dark, any Ghost, they should be easily able to do this. There even been some interesting bug type situations that we can work with and things like that. So I even have all the Reggies down here, though I don't think there's any Reggies that really are adept at this. A lot of people did talk about Ceruledge last time. He'd be a really good option. Things like that. So these are all Pokemon. Like, there's tons of things you could build here. Anything that's level 100 should easily be able to take this on. Just make sure that they can buff their attack. They have some kind of either reflect or some kind of defensive buff. And if they don't have a defensive buff, make sure that when they hit, like with Gholdengo, that they can produce enough damage that they can just heal whatever kind of damage they take. Say for maybe like a rogue critical hit or whatever. That's kind of that, guys. Both builds are roughly the same. You're really looking at Ghost Dark over there for Iron Leaves, and if you're going in to Walking Wake, go with Electric. You'll just roast this event. And if nothing else, run a Blissey for support and just heal everybody and just run this as a raid with other people. It's really simple, guys, but we'll come back. We'll do some really fun builds coming up here really soon. We'll show off more of Gholdengo. We'll show off more of Iron Hands and Golem, and we'll have a ton of fun. So like, comment, share. I'll be back here real soon with some specific builds that you guys can have fun with in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.